In this video, hopefully we cover something that is very interesting for you guys, but this is a new headphone, the HD 490s from Sennheiser. This is the Pro Plus version. I'll get into the unboxing here in a little bit, but the only difference between the Pro and the Pro Plus are some of the goodies that come with the headphone. The MSRP for the Pro is $399, which is going to be a little bit more expensive than the 900 Pro X and the HD 560s, which are on the Wallhack certified tier list. I can tell you guys that right now there are some limiting, inhibiting factors on whether or not this is going to sound as good for you as it is for me, and I'm going to get into the audio sources and my testing. But overall, on my Topping DX9, which you can see to my right, which is my main testing unit right now, this is absolutely phenomenal, and it will be making the Wallhack certified tier list. To give you guys a rundown on what you get in the box with the 490 Pro Plus, you do get two sets of ear cups. I've got the Volur ear cups here that you can see. The Volur ear cups are a little bit on the warmer side. They get a little bit hotter than the cloth ear cups. The cloth ear cups a little bit scratchier to the skin, not as soft, of course, as the Volur. The ear cup on top matches the Volur material, at least by feel, and then the headband actually is a little metallic structure mixed with plastic on the attachments. The ear cups do swivel, and you can see the cable actually attaches on both sides. You can interchange it from either the left side or the right side, which I think is a pretty nice feature, and you only need one cable to get sound out of both ear cups. The ear cup, overall, the shroud seems to resemble a typical Sennheiser can, but I would say that overall this build and this fit is much different than anything I've used in the past from Sennheiser. It's much different than the HD 560s, and fortunately a lot more comfortable between the swivel as well as the interchangeable ear cups, which are very easy to change. They just pop on and pop off. They're in exposing the driver and the shroud over the driver, and then just pop right back on. It is very simple, and we'll get into the performance section, but the performance changes drastically from the Volur ear cups to the cloth ear cups. You also do get a carrying case with the 490 Pro Plus. The carrying case actually is quite large and quite nice. If anybody needs some extra storage for their headphones, it actually is something that offers quite a bit of storage. You've got one zipper here that you can place your ear cups, and then you have a zipper on top as well, which does house a longer cable than the one that comes on the headphone itself. I believe it's 1.5 or 1.8 meters for the default cable, and then 3 meters for the additional cable. You've got your little guides here, and of course where you can just place the headphones themselves. For me personally, and I'll get into it soon, but I did prefer for gaming purposes in 9 out of 10 titles that I tried, the cloth ear cups over the Volur. Okay, so to the performance segment, I want to start this off. First and foremost, I think a lot of people are probably new to the channel. Just so you guys know, my history, I am a former professional Counter-Strike player in the days of 1.3 to 1.6. I've been high ranked in the top 1% of almost every competitive shooter that I've played, including hitting Predator twice in Apex and probably Masters about 8 times since then. The way I test things, I take things into 2 different scenarios. I like testing in tac shooters, your close range maps, where it's more of an objective test. You hear people spawning around you, generally in the same distance with the same things going on around you, such as in Valorant. You typically run into the repetitive same scenario over and over and over in Valorant. So I put about 15 hours on every audio product in tac shooters, those close range maps where a lot of the same things are happening. The thing with close range maps and tac shooters is that layering and separation are not really stress test in those scenarios. You have to get into a open world shooter. You have to get into a battle royale like Fortnite, Apex Legends. And we test things more in open world shooters because there's more scenarios to test, including separation, layering, verticality, and a further depth perception because generally the maps are larger. So you get a better idea of the sound stage, the depth, etc., like we said. So I test about probably 50 to 60 hours in open world shooters. And I think the most predictable thing in open world shooters is that they're going to be unpredictable. I like to have things happen organically. I put myself in a scenario where I'm pushing a team in a building repeatedly, or I'm putting myself in a position, lining myself up to win the game, dealing with third parties, fourth parties, with my teammates, listening for how the separation is when I have a team above me, a team below me, grenades going off, ultimates going off. And I'd like to test that organically, because if you sit there and listen to an audio clip, your brain is going to hyper focus on something that you're looking for, and it's just not going to come through organically. It's just not. After I test for about 50 hours in Apex Legends, I then take something else that's on my Wallhack certified tier list, and I A and B test to hear how something sounds in those scenarios, comparing directly something that's already on the Wallhack certified list to something new like the HD 490. That testing goes on for about another probably 5 to 10 hours, depending on how positive I am with how different things are coming through. Getting that all out of the way, the HD 490 from Sennheiser is absolutely fantastic. I've tested these for that testing scenario, and in Apex Legends, I can say there are some things that I really want to point out, and that is there's a significant difference from the performance of these depending on what you're driving them off of, what your source is. So with the Topping DX9, this is one of the best things that I have ever heard for gaming, period. The soundstage is open. The soundstage is accurate. It's immaculate. The micro detail that I'm getting through the space, the separation, the layering, everything is not lost on this headphone. And I think it is possibly some of the best depth perception that I've heard, both vertically as well as throughout a space in an open world shooter. My kind of snapping to different targets in Valorant, for instance, was just so fast and so natural because of how good the horizontal imaging is and how good that depth perception is. But for Valorant, I do have to say that the Volur ear cups are actually better for Valorant, in my opinion, because they boost the bass and they boost the audio for footsteps, and it actually travels quite nicely through walls. Other than Valorant, I did find that the cloth ear cups worked better for pretty much everything else, and they actually do work well for Valorant as well. The cloth ear cups are more balanced, they're more natural, but the bass is still fun, surprisingly, on the HD 490s in comparison to something like the HD 560s. The 490 sounds fun while still maintaining a level of accuracy and separation and layering that will not leave you overwhelmed in any scenario. Testing these, particularly in competitive ranked climbing, I never had a moment where I felt frustrated from not being able to hear somebody coming to me in Apex. I never felt as though I was unable to anticipate the exact horizontal distance behind a wall that somebody was coming at me with the Volur cups in Valorant. Even with the cloth cups, again, very good. So comparing these directly to the 900 Pro X, now that you guys kind of get an idea of the praise that I'm giving these, probably one of the best things, again, that I've heard, and easily something that might keep me off of IEMs for a hot second. But comparing them to the 900 Pro X, the main difference that I heard almost instantaneously is the soundstage is more open. It's not as tight to you, and it just feels less congested. You feel it almost instantaneously when you get in game with the appropriate audio source. You feel that congestion just open up, and it's almost like you can breathe deeper breaths, and you hear things with better depth, better separation, better layering. So I do think that while the 900 Pro X is on the Wallhack certified list, do these edge it out? Yes. Do you have to upgrade to these? No. Anything that makes my Wallhack certified tier list is absolutely superb for ranked climbing, for ranked grinding. There is absolutely no reason to upgrade unless you really feel as though you want something new, or you want to have that min-maxing and you want those additional percentage points over something else on the Wallhack certified tier list, and price doesn't really matter for you. Everything on my list, again, is exceptionally good for gaming. And if you wanted even an IEM, you could look at, of course, the SimGod EM6L, which I've hyped up since their release, because at their price point, or even the True Theory Chronicle Zero, probably the first one to actually recommend them for gaming. At $50, they are exceptionally good and will provide you a very adequate experience, depending, again, on your audio source. Yes, the audio source matters. Using these with a K9 Pro, not a K9 Pro AKM, but using these with a K9 Pro, they did have a deterioration in the separation. I did think that the imaging was still fantastic with the cloth ear cups. Separation not as good as the topping DX9. Swapping to the K9 non-Pro version, the K9 AKM, the separation actually with the cloth ear cups surprisingly got a little bit worse. And I almost found the velour cups on the K9 AKM to be a little bit better than the cloth cups. But that was really the only time that scenario had actually had an effect. So a very good headphone for gaming, something that will be, I think, higher up on my Wallhack certified tier list. I think the stage on these is really going to be the impressive driving factor, and the depth perception being as deadly accurate as it is. This is a killer headphone, and I think anybody looking for a reason to buy the HD 490, if you were looking for these for gaming related purposes, they absolutely get my approval, with the caveat again that depending on your audio source, you might not have as good of an experience than I had with the topping DX9. So guys, to wrap it up, I know I rambled for quite a bit there in the performance section, but really to wrap it up, the HD 490 I think offers a more resolving experience and a more fun experience than the HD 560s. I think that the build quality is something that feels a little bit on the, because it's so light, it feels a little bit on the cheap side, but overall probably equal in quality feel to something like the HD 560s. And again, much more comfortable because of that swivel and because of the ear cup design. I do think that it's more fun in the bass region while still feeling accurate and refined, offering two very distinct flavors, again, with the different ear cups, the velour as well as the cloth. With the cloth feeling like it tones down the bass, but really keeping things still with an adequate level of fun. Nothing's lost in the track. It's a very revealing headphone and something that feels absolutely insane in terms of the accuracy and the data retrieval out of vocals in a track, out of micro detail. Instrument separation and clarity coming through the HD 490s is absolutely superb. And again, it has a very distinct feel from other Sennheisers like the HD 560s in that bass region, feeling more alive, feeling deeper and more satisfying again than the HD 560s, while still having that excellent soundstage that I think gets a little bit taller with the cloth ear cups in comparison to the velour ear cups. I think overall, again, my tracks sounded absolutely phenomenal on the HD 490s, particularly timbre, piano hits, just feeling so accurate in tonal reproduction, as well as that vocal clarity just being absolutely beautiful on this particular headphone. You hear everything with accuracy that goes on in a track, and that transitions so well to a gaming experience with just a distinctly superb experience, but again, one that I think relies heavily on the source, feeling and sounding completely better, for instance, on my topping DX9. So guys, that is it for the impressions that I have of the HD 490 Pro Plus or the HD 490 Pro. I hope I'm not wrong. I hope that these ear cups do come with the HD 490 Pro non-Plus version. But if not, keep that in mind. I thought they did, but I could be wrong. So make sure you guys check that before buying the non-Plus version. I just want to make sure that those do come with the cloth ear cups, because they are distinctively better with my audio source in most titles. I hope it helped, guys. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.